Have you ever been wronged by someone and then witnessed karma coming back to them? In this podcast, I share my story of how one person gets served a healthy dose of karma from trying to wrong me. This is an excerpt from my first memoir book, Touched. Chapter 23, The Universe is Watching. Listen now. Even through all that aggravation, I realized the universe, or some supreme being, was definitely watching over me. In gratitude, I tried another attempt to smooth things over with Katrina, despite all the things that she had done or put me through. I even offered to purchase another sculpture from her again. There was a particular sculpture she was working on for her graduate show with a unique camouflage glaze that caught my attention. I was drawn to it. I was willing to pay $100, the same price as the other one. "Don't insult me with your $100 offer," she snapped, while loading it in the kiln for another firing along with her showpieces. "I have several people interested who are willing to pay me thousands of dollars. Anyway, it has to go through one more firing." "Are you sure you don't want to sell it to me right now?" I asked, still trying to be polite. "Yes," she snapped again. When I went to the kiln room to check out what had been unloaded from the recent firing, I saw pieces of broken clay shards on the ground. That was very unusual because it was a hazard, and Henry kept all his sections of his facility immaculate. Then I heard sweeping coming from the far end of the kiln area where Katrina had done her firing. I looked at the open door of the shuttle kiln that had her sculptures in it. They all looked fine. When I went in closer to get a better look, I saw Katrina on her hands and knees sweeping up around the kiln. "Wow, they look fabulous," I said. "Where's that sculpture?" I was curious to know how it looked fired again. "Oh, shut the hell up," she snapped. It occurred to me that her amazing sculpture was the only one missing. I looked at the shards on the ground. Some pieces were as far as 25 feet away. They were all that was left of that sculpture. It was virtually impossible for only one sculpture to be destroyed with that type of force in a high-firing kiln with heavy reduction process. The top damper would have been open a mere only 2 inches. Everything in that kiln should have been wiped out, but it wasn't. Only the one sculpture was destroyed. Once it sank in, I began laughing. Katrina rose from the ground and threw the dustpan and the brush in my direction. After she stormed off, I laughed uncontrollably for several minutes. Every time someone does me wrong, I think of the exploding sculpture. It's a wonderful reminder that those who commit bad deeds will eventually have them come home to roost. I want to thank you for tuning into this podcast episode. And if you like to listen to more of my podcast, you can go to leapintoyourstory.com. And if you like to read and purchase my books, you can find them at amazon.com under VP Andersen and Victoria Andersen. Thank you for tuning into the Leap Into Your Story podcast, where you discover your inner story, break down the process, and meet others who've done it so you can leap into your own story. Remember to visit our website at leapintoyourstory.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're there, subscribe and like to us via your favorite social media network. We're looking forward to seeing you next time on the Leap Into Your Story podcast.